Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. This is Dream Another Day Tarot, and this is going to be a reading for whoever needs to hear it. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what does, leave the rest for somebody else. Hopefully you know the drill. If not, feel free to go check out the description box for more of my disclaimers. Just also keep in mind that gender is fluid in tarot, so just place yourself where you fit, and I'll use gender neutral language as much as possible, okay? I want to make these readings inclusive for everybody. So also, thanks so much if you joined me for my live last night. I'm gonna take a peek at this. Okay, share it in reverse. Slow down. Just the energy. But I'm not going to take any cards till I say my affirmations, but I just want to say thank you if you joined me for my live last night. It went really well. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and if you haven't joined me for my lives, please do. I do them every Friday, and I answer your questions for free. So you just drop your questions in the chat box, and I will get to them as soon as I can. I try and get through everybody, but at a certain point I gotta call it because, you know, it's a lot to get through, and sometimes I really tune into people's energy and I get deep in the reading, and then I gotta be like, okay, there's other people waiting. But if you did drop questions and you did not get them answered last night, please do come join me again next Friday. Or if you just can't wait, I do take personal readings, so please feel free to hit me up on Instagram. All of that information is down below. I am going to take a peek at this. 3 of Cups in reverse, okay? Don't over celebrate is what I'm hearing. Don't overdo it. Don't over celebrate, okay? Some of you out there may be kind of like in your summer vibe and like drinking every weekend or more than every weekend or something like that is what I'm hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and say my affirmations and we'll get started on this reading. Any other information you want or might need or be curious about will be in the description box below, as well as how to drop me a donation, my link tree for all my other socials, etc. So you can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good business. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into this reading. So thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We're deeply grateful, and we know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide the collective spirit for their highest good, and please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Okay, let's get it. Woo! Thank you, Spirit. Hope y'all are doing well out there today. 9 of Wands in reverse. Okay, so the first thing that came to mind was don't be afraid of love. Okay, don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to open up to people. And this is all types of love. This is not just romantic. This is, you know, everything from friends to family to, you know, healers, right, is what I'm hearing too. Is like, you know, people just offering you love and kindness. You know, you maybe have lived a lot of your life as, you know, somewhat defensive and protective of yourself. The 9 of Wands is the wounded warrior energy. So this is all about, you know, healing from those wounds, okay? And please forgive me for any background noise. There's some laundry going. I might put music in this video, I think. So if you're enjoying some music right now, and if you're not, sorry. Anyway, so don't be afraid to love. Don't be afraid to open up, you know? A lot of times we really, really underestimate people's ability to connect with us and impact us on a positive level. You know, sometimes it's hard to trust, and I get that, you know, but sometimes some of the most impactful and powerful, you know, healing moments come from connection with others, you know, and that's also where a lot of our deepest wounding comes from. So it's almost kind of makes sense, you know, makes sense that connecting with people would help us heal those wounds, right? You've got the World card coming out. So you're the main character. Okay? You are the main character in your life. You know, you need to start acting that way. The World card is also about changing cycles, okay? So again, you maybe are in this kind of summer energy, and then you're like, well, but what happens when the fall comes? You know what I mean? Like, is this, you know, experience I'm having with this person, is it going to continue or is it going to end, you know? I don't know why I'm getting that for some of you out there. You know, am I always going to feel this good, or is it going to get bad again? You know what I mean? That's kind of the fear that I'm feeling. Wow, look at that. The Moon card. Moon card coming out. By the way, these readings are 18+. If you read my disclaimers, you will see that. This is the erotic, intimate, sexual tarot deck. So Some of these cards are a little explicit, just a heads up. So if you don't like that, I'm going to be switching decks here in a minute, but I just wanted to start with this deck for some reason. It's kind of like, wow, I'm like, just all of a sudden, all I could see on these cards were just all the animals in the cards, because there's like a goat and a bird and a dove and et cetera, et cetera. And so I was just like, well, it's kind of like the more animalistic nature, that kind of, I guess, the animalistic magnetism. Okay, so some of you guys might be experiencing that right now. Look at that, Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is all about clarity and cutting through to the truth. Okay, now what I think is so cool about this card is that there's kind of a kinky scene going on here. And one of the things that I think is really powerful about kink, and if you are unfamiliar, you know, there's quite a bit to be learned and explored in the kink world, right? Because I think that catharsis and healing and kink are very much like there's a lot of crossover there. Okay, and one of the things about, you know, kink is that it's very vulnerable. Okay, so you're opening up about, you know, some of your kind of more taboo desires and dynamics that you want to experience and play into, and you know, so it can be a very like vulnerable playground, but it's also a way to be really vulnerable and honest, you know, with yourself and with others, and explore things. And sometimes you may want something a whole lot, but then as soon as you actually do it, you're like, oh, I didn't really enjoy that, or I don't really want that anymore. And it eliminates the desire, right? So I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that, but it's coming up because it's talking about being open to connecting with people and not being afraid of the outcome, you know, being open to the journey and the process of exploring with another person. Look at that, Six of Swords in reverse. You maybe just don't want somebody to leave afterwards. So there may be this kind of sense of distrust and fear around like abandonment, possibly. Ten of Swords. Yeah, see, you're afraid of being left in the dust. You know, you don't want it to end, and so that's part of the reason why you're having this hard time starting something or being open to continuing something, because you don't want it to end painfully. And if you look at this card a little more closely, you can see this person is in you know, alone in their room, right? And they've got a spilled cup and all these rose petals of the candles burned down, you know, and they're crying. They've got a tissue in their hand, and then if you look out the window, you can see two people hooking up out the window. You know, so you don't want to be left behind. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to, you know, not being belittling or whatever. I'm just saying that what I'm getting here is like the fear of things ending is keeping you from even exploring the beginning. Sorry, my shirt is bothering me for some reason. It's keeping you from being open and vulnerable, like to step into a process or to continue a process with somebody. Not like a process, but I mean like a connection. But Spirit is, the first advice was to not be defensive. Don't be afraid. Let people heal your wounds, you know, or even at least just give them a chance. You just don't want it to end afterwards, and so that's part of your problem and opening up. But I don't mean part of your problem. I'm just saying like that's part of the challenge, I should say. God, I'm sorry, y'all. There's literally so much noise right now. Please. Okay. Two of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, so it may be causing you to be a little bit out of balance. Like, look how this person is like turning their back towards this other person who clearly wants them. They're almost creeping up behind them. This card kind of makes me laugh because he's like, ugh, like kind of creeping up. But it's like, sorry, they're creeping up. I apologize. But what I'm getting here is like somebody has a lot of passion for you. Somebody really wants to engage with you in this kind of way. And they maybe just are having a hard time breaking down your defenses, or you're having a hard time, you know, so don't, like allow yourself to explore and connect with people. I don't know. That's just coming through really strongly. Is like, it could be really healing, really powerful, really fun, all of those things. Like you're kind of cutting yourself off a bit. Four of Wands in reverse, you know, because you're like, you know, you're like, well, what if it is just for fun? What if it is just one night? What if it is, et cetera, et cetera? You know what I mean? And so it's kind of holding you back from exploring and having fun. Like, I mean, these two people are like on a swing, you know what I mean? And the Four of Wands is all about union, connection. But it doesn't always have to be like long term, but it doesn't always have to be short term either. You won't know if you don't go for it. Like, you won't know if you don't explore with somebody. But you're just like, I really don't want to be heartbroken. Well, guess what? That is in your control. It is. And I think that maybe you may be misinterpreting past experiences to say that, you know, if I love somebody and then that relationship ends, then I'm going to be heartbroken, right? Now, I'm not saying, like, I'm not invalidating your experience, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, you can just choose to not be heartbroken, but it's a process, right? It's all about your thinking, your mindset, your approach, your expectations, your disappointment, right? So if you can change those things within your mind, right, with the Ace of Swords here, kind of see things more clearly as the transient nature of humanity, the transient nature of humans and of love and sexuality and all those things, then you can kind of say, okay, well, you know, I really like feeling good. You know, I really like connecting with people. I like having these types of experiences. I know that. But, you know, I know that I need to open up and stop being so fearful too, also with the Nine of Wands in reverse, you know, not be so defensive. And if you can think about it this way, like, my fear of something ending is keeping me from even enjoying the moment, keeping me from exploring it, you know, because I'm like, well, how can I have fun under these conditions? How am I supposed to live, laugh, love under these conditions? You know, because you're just afraid of what might happen. But it's keeping you, it's making it difficult for you to balance life and love. You know, there needs to be a balance there. And if I was you, honey, like, I'm just saying, like, this is, I mean, I don't like to speak too personally when it comes to tarot, because it's like, I want to make sure that I'm still sticking with your energy here. But a big part of the reason why certain types of readings come through me, particularly from spirit, right, is because I have a way to interpret them, you know, and because I can put the story together and understand what you're going through and possibly give you a little bit of like insight. And that's the whole point of this, you know? So I don't just get readings on things that like I have no experience in, you know what I mean? Sometimes actually I do, and it gives me a little insight, you know? But in this case, excuse me, one approach you could take is to think about love and sex and intimacy in general as something that is like a flower. Okay, right? It has to grow and then bloom, and then those petals fall off. It's okay. The petals fall off until the next time it blooms again, okay? And so it doesn't always have to be that way either. I'm just saying, if you can think about it in this way, that's like, that it's natural for things to end. It's natural for things to have an apex and a climax, right? And you know, you're in it, you're experiencing it, and then you have to part ways. And it does not, maybe you're just parting ways till the next time you see each other again, you know what I mean? Or maybe you're parting ways and you don't see each other again, you know? And there's kind of like there's this melancholy kind of like sadness when it comes to that. And I'm not saying that that's not valid. I get that. Like I get that. But I'm just saying, like, how are you going to continue to have good experiences? Because check it. Here's a great point. If you didn't enjoy the experiences, then why would you be sad that they're over? Okay? Duh. I know you're like, duh, but like, yeah, because you enjoyed having the experience. So I get that you could probably feel like, well, but the enjoyment is not worth the pain afterwards. Well, the pain is not always necessary. It's not always guaranteed, and it doesn't have to be painful. That's my point. My point is that if this, then this is not necessarily always the case. That could just be your past experience based on, take a little responsibility here for your own pain, based on your thinking, based on your narrative, the way you interpret the experience. Well, this person doesn't want to see me again. It must be because I'm unworthy, because I'm this, I'm that, right? or because this is what always happens, or you get what I'm getting at, you know? Try and deconstruct those narratives, okay? And stop putting yourself through so much damn pain, you know? Because you may look at the situation and say, well, you know, I like this person a lot, and so I can tell they're the type of person who would hurt me, you know, so I better not engage. It's like, well, because you like them? You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to engage with them because you want to engage with them, right? Because you like them, because they may impact you on some deep level. But you want that, but you don't want the pain that comes with it. Well, then try to eliminate the narrative that creates the pain. You get what I'm saying? I'm trying to help here, so don't shoot the messenger. And if you're irritated by this reading, you know, maybe it's because it's touching on something, and I'm here to help. Okay? I don't have it all figured out. I'm just saying this is the goal, okay? And we work towards it every day. Every new experience, we work towards this, right? To being able to really give in and really experience and really connect with people and not be afraid of the outcome, you know? And recognize that they're a beautiful flower, just like you're a beautiful flower, and we all bloom and we all die. Not to be dark, but I'm just like, why not enjoy it, you know? And the pain and sorrow you experience, I'm saying that you can, wow, I'm seeing something. Hold on. In this card, do you see how they have like a chain around their neck and the chain is broken? It's like, let people break your chains, honey. You know? Let people heal you. Let people touch your heart. Let people in. You know, because you might be surprised by how much the very thing that you're terrified of may be the very thing that helps you overcome your fear. If that makes sense. Okay. How far are we into this reading? Perfect. We still have plenty of time. I'm going to go ahead and pull some more cards here. I do hope you're enjoying the reading. I know some of this stuff can be, it's challenging. Like, I'm not trying to be that person that's like, just have fun. Just get over it. You know, like, I'm not trying to invalidate, like I said, your experience or minimize, you know, your pain, okay? Or minimize your past or your heartbreak or anything. My goal is to try and help you to enjoy and embrace and experience life more fully, work through these challenges, heal from these wounds, and be able to move forward into enjoying your life again, you know? Embracing yourself and your own divinity, that like you are so worth it. Like you have way more options in life experience than you think, you know, and you know, take your power back. You know, be powerful. Maybe you should be the one. I'm just kidding, because this is what happens. You're like, well, maybe I'll just be the hot bitch. Maybe I'll just, you know, like, you know, be the fuck boy, right? Like, that's the energy. Is like, well, then maybe I'll just be that way. You don't have to be that way, okay? You don't have to be that way. You can have real connections and heartfelt connections and that don't last. That's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be shallow. It doesn't have to be casual. And it can be too, if that's what you want also. But I kind of get the feeling from your energy here that's not necessarily what you want. You want deep connections. You want heartfelt connections, explorative connections where you can really get into it. You know what I mean? And explore those wounds too with someone who's not afraid to do that, yeah? Look, the Empress. Okay? You are abundant. You just open yourself up a little bit, honey, and you're going to unfurl like a damn... I don't know why. I'm gonna fucking laugh, dude, and then I'm gonna cry. It's like a hot air balloon. You're like a fucking circus tent. I don't know why I'm getting all these stupid imagery. Because it's like you're keeping yourself boxed up so tight. You don't even, like, look, Ace of Cups. All around you, all the time, within you. You're overflowing, you're abundant, you're beautiful. Look at all the options. Look at all the love. You know what I'm saying? Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on your ability to experience what it is you desire. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. And the more detached you are from outcome, the more you're going to experience it and appreciate the experience. And then it's like, as things move along, honey, you never know. Every day is a choice, and when it comes to relationship, every day is a choice. You know what I mean? Every time you decide to see somebody again and keep a relationship going, that's a choice, you know? So it's like, you can't expect for it to just be like an on and off switch that you duct tape so no one can turn it back off again. You know what I mean? It's their choice too. So it's a mutual agreement that is like a continuing, evolving agreement, right? Just like consent is evolving, okay? Consent to be in a connection with someone is the same fucking way, you know? But you continue to nurture that, give it enough breathing space, etc., and you can keep it going, you know? And just see where it goes. Let people break your chains, honey. Let them. Like I said, I'm trying to help. Hangman in reverse. Yes. Come out of that place of stagnancy and contemplation, yo. Come out of it. I know you may be afraid to start something new. You may be afraid to move forward or be vulnerable. But you've learned the lessons of pain, you know? Let yourself learn the lessons of pleasure. The lessons of enjoyment and letting go. You know what I mean? You deserve that. 6 of Wands. You will be victorious, bitch. Regardless of gender. You will be victorious. Look, the Sun card at the bottom of the deck. You've got to be playing with me. This is not like... I'm just saying, I can't make this stuff up. And I couldn't have said it better myself. Open up. Come out of it. Snap out of it, I'm hearing. Come out of this place of contemplation and fear and isolation. You know? You're gonna be triumphant. Like, you will be so surprised at yourself. And like the type of person that you can be. You know? You don't have to be sad anymore. You don't have to be afraid of things ending and holding yourself back. You know? You can be free. You can be free. Wow, this is a really powerful reading. I'm not going to pull any more tarot, but I'm going to pull some oracle cards real quick. Wow. I'm just saying, this is a powerful reading. I'm very grateful for this reading because I feel like this is such a good message for so many people out there, you know, that can relate to this and really want to open up again, but are just having a hard time because that heartache really hurts, y'all. It really fucking hurts. And you're like, well, last time, how did I get that heartache? Oh, I opened up to somebody, right? How did I end up in that place of like hardcore contemplation? Oh, I opened up to somebody. So it's like you go back to what was the starting point, and don't neglect the process, okay, that led up to that, because there's always a process. It's not like, oh, I opened up to somebody and then they, you know what I mean? Hopefully, God, that never happened to you, knock on wood, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm saying like, there's a process that unfolds, you know, and a lot of it happens up here, you know? So it's like, if you can change that in your approach and your attitude, and you continue to choose to have a good attitude, you continue to choose to live and let live, then I feel like you can open up to people and not be heartbroken. It's very beautiful. Okay. Ay. 1 second, I'm sorry. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. Isn't that funny? That's so similar to the message, though, actually, in a weird way, because it's when you choose, this is beautiful, when you choose to see yourself as somebody who is worthy, okay, of love, worthy of good experiences, and you keep that level of self-confidence throughout the process, right, of connecting with another person, then it's like you see them with more love because you're not so fearful and looking for all the bad things in them that's going to make them hurt you and abandon you. Because you're like, well, I feel confident in myself that like, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine with or without them. You know? So like, I'm focusing on my own inner light. And so then it's making me see the world through eyes of love. And then I can see also that they're not the only person who I can have deep, impactful connection with. So I'm not afraid of losing them because live and let live, honey. That's fine. You know, I'm gonna encounter other people that I can connect with. And so then you start to see the world as a place that has like an abundance of loving experience ready for you, you know? And so then you're just more open. And then you welcome that stuff in. I mean, you got the Empress card earlier too. That's pretty beautiful. I don't know. I just think that's really beautiful. Love yourself more, and then you'll love others more, and you'll hold them to less of a high expectation of you know, and you take equal responsibility for your pain, for your hurt, for the possibility of being heartbroken. You take equal responsibility, you know? Beautiful. Okay, one more card. Ooh, I surrender to a power greater than me. Wow. In the context of this reading, I just want to look at this one real quick. Ooh, that's a powerful one. My faith has the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love. Y'all, like I said, I can't make this stuff up. That is so on par with this reading. Wow. So if you have faith, a little faith in people, a little faith in yourself, a little faith in this power greater than you that essentially created all of this, right? If you think about it in that way. And if you can think about it in that the power of love, the power of connection is bigger than you, right? It's something we all get to tap into and experience. And so when you can surrender to that and say, you know what? I don't know what led me to have those experiences. I'm going to try and take responsibility for where I interrupt the process, or where I, let fear take over, and just surrender to the experience. You know what I mean? And that doesn't necessarily always mean, y'all, by the way, surrendering to another person, because sometimes people don't know what the fuck they're doing. And there's plenty of times where I just gave radical trust to complete strangers, and they definitely abused that, and they did not know what they were doing. But I gave them the opportunity to be in control or whatever. But sorry, I'm just saying. But if you can surrender to the process and the experience, then even if other people do fuck up, you don't let it hurt you on that level. You're just like, really? Yeah, whatever. Try and have a good attitude. Your faith having the power to turn trauma into healing, conflict into growth, and fear into love means no matter what you encounter, okay, conflict in connection, that can turn into an opportunity to learn and grow. And you encounter fear, if you can look at it as like, hey, I'm afraid, okay, of something happening, but it doesn't mean that it's guaranteed, okay? And now I'm saying, of course, protect yourself. And if ever you're in a situation where you feel like fearful for your own safety, no, hella trust that shit, okay? But I'm talking about fear and love, like if you're afraid of being hurt emotionally, okay? I just want to clarify, because I'm not telling you to not trust your fear, because fear is there to help us. It's there to help us protect ourselves, right? But sometimes we can let fear take over, and then we forget to surrender a little bit and have a little fun. Okay, so I think this is honestly a pretty beautiful reading. I hope that it's been helpful to somebody out there, and I know that sometimes I get these readings where that I'm giving like a lot of advice, and I'm really diving deep, and I'm kind of like, maybe touching on some really painful areas, and I know that can be like irritating, and I know that it can bother people or make them feel like judged or whatever. But like, here's the thing, like my intention is like, if I was your friend, okay, this is the way I look at these readings. If I was your friend or your sibling, or someone who cares about you, you know what I mean? It's like that. There's no other way, y'all, that I could invest this much time and energy into this channel or into these readings if I didn't care about your growth. You know what I mean? Or care about like humanity's growth, that we continue this process. Otherwise I would just give up on all y'all. But I can't, because I love you. And I want to see you grow and heal and be happy and celebrate life, and us overcome the obstacles, and that goes for everybody, you know what I mean? And including those who make life more challenging for us than it needs to be, and our oppressors and all that sort of thing. That's the way I look at it. It's like they need healing too. So my goal is to always come to you all as a friend, okay, and as a confidant, as someone who's looking at these really deep, vulnerable parts of you and trying to encourage you to overcome the obstacles. So part of that is like, it takes a certain amount of gentleness and compassion, okay, and understanding for what you're going through. But then it takes a certain amount of strength and sternness where I have to be like, look what you're doing to yourself, and then look what you allow other people to do to you, etc., etc. Like, you need to be strong too, you know? So I hope this reading helped. Okay, so anyway, thanks so much for being here. If you did like the video, please hit that like button, drop me a comment, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell, because it will notify you every time I go live. Okay, so I go live every Friday. If you want to ask me questions, please do feel free to drop them in the chat box at my live stream, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I do go from first come first serve down on, and try and get to everybody. Also, if you want a personal reading, all that's in the description box below. Just hit me up on Instagram, send me a message, and we can discuss the process. I'll see y'all again next time. So thanks so much. Bye.